Namaste, Sitaram, Assalamu alaikum. In this time of discontent and concern over the hurricane season, we still need to eat quality food. And the lentil stew provides us with ample opportunity for dietary fiber, nutritiousness, iron, all put together. So into a little bit of hot oil, coconut oil, I've put my usual suspect of aromatics. Onion, garlic, ginger, West Indian Scotch bonnet peppers all go immersed to create the base, the foundation, almost like a sofrito for my lentil stew. So lentil is a dish that is sometimes eaten in South Caribbean cuisine. In Trinidad, it's very popular. It's eaten in different forms, as stew, as curry. But lentil itself has its origins dating back to the Paleolithic era. And in fact, whereas its origins may come from Syria, there's even a story in the Bible, in the book of Genesis, between brothers Esau and Jacob concerning the popularity of a lentil stew. So this is how crucial lentil stew and lentils are to the diet of the Middle Eastern people, including the Jews. And in Jewish traditions, it is said that even at the time of death, to recognize someone who has died, there is the tasting of lentil stew, and the round lentils are oftentimes used to celebrate this full circle of life. So it is that lentils have been popular and may have been the first legume that was cultivated and propagated across Middle East and Europe, and then transplanted to places like India, the subcontinent, and it's now a popular vegan dish around the world. So what do I make my sauce with? I have added some jerk seasoning and some tomatoes. Jerk seasoning, that's correct. And in goes my lentil here that has been pre-boiled for about 10 minutes. It actually doesn't take long to boil because lentils soften up, and that makes them a very viable legume or bean to boil. I also like the earthy flavors of the lentil bean, and I think it works really well with jerk or Creole seasonings from the Caribbean. Truth be told, even though I've had otogi curry versions of lentil, that's a Japanese lentil popular even in Korea, even though I've had moong dal and masoor dal versions of lentil, I like the kind of Caribbean stewed version of lentil I've showed you here today. It's highly rainy weather. Welcome to Cooking with Madho. In my little bowl, I have a quarter of a cabbage, green beans, carrots, capsicum or sweet pepper, and some aromatics. I have ginger chopped, I have garlic chopped, and I even have some pepper in this mix. What I'm going to do is I'm going to stir fry this without Chowmein noodles, but using the very famous Trinidadian kind of seasoning that I like, which is by Chief Brand Products. I can't believe I'm advertising Chief Brand Products, but I think it has a really quality Chowmein noodle seasoning here that is vegetarian. Okay, so I'm going to pour this in at the end. Into my hot pot, I add some oil. I then add my garlic, my ginger, my scallion, and my fresh vegetables. It's important to note that there's no real need to steam this. Ideally, if I had a wok, I could create a wok effect by slightly burning the garlic and then infusing that garlic with the oil that would be transferred throughout the vegetables. But without the wok effect, I would say stir fry this in a Dutch pot and cover it for about 30 seconds and then add the key seasoning here, which is the Trinidadian Chowmein seasoning. But of course, you could try your own local Chowmein seasonings depending on where you are from. And this is my final dish. So I hope you've enjoyed today's presentation of very basic Sunday meals if you are vegetarian. I find this is like a kind of Creole Caribbean version of vegan cooking. And I've showed you today the humble lentil bean and the Chinese chow mein without noodles. And here it is being served. Right, this is my final dish. This is a good Sunday lunch. So people want to know what I eat for Sundays? There you go. Dios amigo, Koda Hafiz. Firmilinge when I show you how to make chapati roti.